Hey everybody, I'm here with Greg McDaniel. Hey Greg.
What up, girlfriend?
What up? And Greg is a realtor in the Bay Area, California, which no thanks. But he also is a co-host on Real Estate Uncensored, which is an awesome podcast. And if you don't subscribe to it, go there, do it. You guys have been running that podcast for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, we're pushing 5 years now.
Awesome.
We have about, I don't know, 500 episodes or something like that, or more.
There's
I
a
don't know
lot.
where we are on episode count, but we were pushing out 3 shows a week. And we'd pushed that out for about 3 years, and then we pushed it back to 2 episodes a week. And that's kind of where we are now. So
Nice. Hey,
yeah.
and I was on your show. Monica's been on it twice.
Yes,
When's
yes,
my
yes.
episode airing?
I don't know. That's up to our producer, but it's definitely going to be awesome. It's going to be an amazing show. You guys got to come check it out. You know, we just have a ridiculously good time together. You know, Jennifer just crushed skulls when she was on the show with us, make knowledge bombs drop. It was awesome. So we're going to have another good time. And we keep on yelling at Monica because she never, ever told us that she did a podcast. Jennifer came on. She told us she did a podcast. We're like, what the blank?
Yeah, we got on her for that for sure. But Greg, in our podcast, you are our tiebreaker.
Okay, good. Let's drop the hammer. Let's go.
I feel like I know whose side you're going to be on, but let's see. All right. So the question is, should you use scripts?
Well, that's a very big question, and a lot of people would probably say yes and say no. And so when it comes to scripting, a lot of people think that it has to be this uniformed way of speaking. Like you have to hit every single word perfectly with the perfect tonality, perfect delivery, and it cannot be flawed. If you screw it up, then the whole script is done. So I've been a real estate agent for 21 years.
Dang.
Dude, thanks. I got the gray hair to prove it. Trust me. If you guys can't see me, my whole beard is white.
Started in high school.
Yeah, I did. And actually people ask me like, why don't you want to color your beard gray? I mean, brown again. I'm like, dude, this is what you call dipping your chin in knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
I earned this. And so,
very knowledgeable.
So I had a guy that we used to work on our real estate team. His name was John, probably the laziest SOB I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh. He
would show up at 11, leave at 12 for lunch, come back at 2, and then go home at 3. And that was stressful.
Did he make money?
Oh, God, no. Are you kidding me?
I was going to say, man, that sounds awesome if you're going to make money.
No, don't get me started with him. And so Eileen, my team manager, I call her the steel trap because she never forgets anything. Mm-hmm. One day, John was asking me something, and she just was so fed up. Because John was asking me something dumb, and she just turns around and goes, John, everything he says is scripted. Everything. You get it? And then I kind of looked, I'm like, oh, it kind of actually is. And so the point of this story, guys, is that when you get into conversation with people, I do what I call as a skeleton script. So I will use a backbone of a conversation. So I use forward a lot: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams to spur a conversation forward. Mm-hmm. I also have
that's a good networking tip too.
Oh, dude, it's great even for in-laws. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Or, so someone you haven't talked to in a while, 100%, just ask every question about the other person. But yes, scripting is very, very important. You can, don't get me wrong. You can go out at it all willy-nilly. Mm-hmm. My recommendation at a high level would not to do that. And here's the reason why. When you have a script and you know where your next question or your next comment's going to go, you're already playing 5D chess. You're already playing ahead of the person you're talking to because you're leading them through a conversation. He or she who asks questions controls the conversation.
Yep.
And with that being said, people say, well, I don't want to be pushy. God gave me 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I want to be able to listen more than speak. Due respect. No problem with that. But if you're going to use that methodology, great. Use your 2 ears, hear what the other person's saying, and then preemptively set them up through your scripting for the next question, what's going to lead them down the path that they're going to be able to use. So when I use a script, think about a human body. Mm-hmm. Strip all the meat, all the bone, not the bones, all the muscle, all the meat, all the fat, everything off the body, right? Okay. You go from the waist up. And what do you have? You have a backbone and you have ribs, right? Now, a script is a backbone and ribs. Your script is your backbone, is what holds you up and down, is what makes you go forward.
It leads to the appointment.
It leads to the
or the
appointment.
sale or whatever you're doing.
Exactly. But the ribs are very important. The ribs are the tangents. So if I'm having a conversation with you doing cold calling or doors or, networking or fill in the blank, right? Great. I could be leading down a conversation, and then all of a sudden you make a comment about, oh, well, my grandma used to own a boat on a lake. I immediately go, I have a boat. It's a 23-foot LSV Malibu. I go boating all the time. How long have you owned your boat? Have you guys like it? Where do you take it? How long have you been on it? When do you bring the kids on it? And I build conversation. I build personality and a relationship off of that. Then when that's done, bring it back to the backbone. Keep going. If we jump off on another rib.
To the lake? Do you want a dock at your new house? Like something like that.
Exactly. But you allow your conversation to continue. You know where you're going on the backbone, but allow the ribs to jump off to build the relationship. And it's okay if you go off script. That's fine. That's part of scripting. But you know when and how to bring them back to that main point. Because if we're going to talk about boating and lakes and everything else, then I'll say, gosh, Jennifer, it sounds like you and your grandma had just had a blast on the river or on the lake. Let me ask you a question. If you were to be selling your property, here in town, would you buy a house up on the lake or would you buy it somewhere else? Where would you guys move? And when would you guys like to do it?
Exactly.
You bring your tonality down, but you get back on point, but you relate it back to your side conversation because then they don't feel like they're being talked at. They feel like they're being a part of the conversation.
Right, exactly. And you're actually listening to what they say, which I think that's what scripts do. They give you the confidence to know what to say to get the end result, which is the appointment. So then you have the opportunity to listen.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to listen is when mirroring and matching can come in. And mirroring and matching, like what we just did here, if you want to mirror and match somebody, at a professional level, you repeat the last 1 to 3 words the person said. That's where they think they were heard.
Right.
You relate it back, and then you move forward, and the conversation's a beauty. But yes, scripting is absolutely 100% important. If you guys are new in the business and you're just hearing my voice, you're just hearing this concept, or you're a veteran in the business and you know exactly what I'm saying, run your scripts, have some fun with it. I use a company called RedX to do a lot of my auto dialing and do my outbound prospecting. And the thing that I love about RedX is the fact that they have an opportunity where you can call in, if you're new in the business or getting back into the business, and you can run scripts with a professional scripter on the other end. And they ask you if you want it easy, medium, or hard. And then they always will end on a high point, and then they'll send you the recording, and then they put you out, then they send you out and you start doing your calls, but you start off on a positive response.
That's awesome. I didn't know they did that.
It's badass, isn't it?
That's really cool. I know, because I'm a real estate coach with Pillar 9, and we do role play practice and stuff too, and I use Vulcan, not RedX, but that would be cool. I should tell Vulcan they need to do that. That's awesome.
Dude, it's awesome. 2 years ago, back in 2018, I was at they flew me in to meet with their staff and do some coaching with their staff. And they had just rolled that out. And that's the same thing I said. I'm like, that is badass.
I wonder how many people actually use it.
Probably not many.
I think there's another point too. I think that people get confused because you had said in the beginning, people think it's you have to say exactly the right word, exactly the right tone. Everything has to be exact. But here's the thing, we use scripts now. I mean, we always do. We say the same things all the time. So if you think you're not using a script, you're wrong.
100%. I mean, everything I just told you guys, that was something I've said hundreds of times. It's a script that I've used.
Exactly.
It's not something I'm pulling out of my rear end. This is something
same example. Everything's the same, right? That's funny.
Everything.
Well, Greg, I knew you were going to be on Team Mertland. That's why. Sorry, Monica.
Hey, dude, Monica, you snooze, you lose, girlfriend. End of story. That's what you get for not telling me at a podcast, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Get her, Greg. Now, I do want to make sure because so the podcast is called Real Estate Uncensored, and then you have a cool course coming up. Can you just tell us real briefly about that?
Sure. I really appreciate that, Jennifer. What it is, guys, it's called Listen, Sell Like Crazy. It's $400. If you guys want to get a hold of me, I'll give Jennifer the link. She can put it anywhere she wants to. If you use the word McDaniel, you get $100 off. So it's a $300 course. Nice. What it is, it's a 10 hours of video training. My good friend, Bernice Ross, who has been a trainer out of LA. She trained a company of 4,000 agents back in the 80s, and they were doing $1 billion a month in sales.
In the 80s, a billion, even now, $1 billion a month.
A month.
With
No one's ever
B?
a B, not an M, a B like Bob. And so she was in charge of training 4,000 agents. And so she and I have connected, and she and I now write articles every week for Inman News.
Nice.
So if you guys look for Bernice Ross, we're consistently in the top 5, but she and I put this together. It is phenomenal content. She even stumped me several times in that training. And I guarantee you that is really freaking hard to do. And so, yeah, it's list and sell like crazy. You can go to realestatecoach.com. And go up and you can type in real estate, list and sell like crazy. Get it there, guys. Use the code McDaniel, knock $100 off. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. It's really that simple. I'm not going to hog tie you.
Awesome. I'm sure you guys are great. So, well, we really appreciate you being on. I definitely appreciate you being on my side. And that's our guest.
Hey, you know what? You're the best side to be on. So I'm glad to be there.
Yes. Go team. All right. Thanks a lot, Greg. Have a good one.
You too, Jennifer. Thanks so much for having me.